Good evening. How are we? Are we good? I'm just maybe having just a little aperitif to start the show, but I'm very conscious that once I've had one sip, my face goes really red. So maybe I won't have too much more, and we've got a lot to get through this evening. How are you? It's been a week. It's been a whole week. It's been forever. I'm out of practice. I'm sure we'll get back into it. Gin's here. Steve's out the back. We've got Steve tonight. So during the show, if you've got any questions about your orders, where is your order? What happened with my order? Hopefully it's all fine. But any really detailed questions about things, please send it through to info@Chandler's Cottage, because he's here to take your email. Not take your call. We didn't put the phone on. But how... This looks terrible, doesn't it? Hang on one sec. Who's here? Good evening. Rhonda, Josie. Josie, your decorations are on the way back to you. I promise they're on the way. Rose, Mary, Davis, Derelyn. Oh, Donna's here as well. See, this works really well for friends in the UK, doesn't it? This whole 7:30 at night thing. It does work really well. Good evening, Francis, Christine. Ho, ho, ho to you as well. Mel's here. Lynette, and that is lovely. Merry Christmas to everyone from you. Hello, Diane. How are you this evening? Are you good? Oh, good morning. I'm confused now. Louise, have you had your last round of golf for the year? Are you done? Or are you going to fit a couple more in this week? I do wonder. Would have been a bit windy today. Hello, Gail. Nancy. Oh, Mel's in the building. Fiona's here. Oh, my goodness. Oh, this is going to be fun tonight. This is going to be fun. The party animals are in the house. Lorraine, good evening. Good evening to you. Lorraine sent me some photos with the Quilter's Companion Diary for 2022. And they've dug some out of the archives of mine. Luckily, actually coincidentally, one of them we now publish the pattern for and do kits, and we're out. And Steve only said to me on Friday, you need to do some more kits for the bag. Maggie, thank you very much. Yeah, we'll pass that on to all the crew. Pat, hello to you. I think Pat's been pretty stressed about moving. It's been a big move, and it's been a long move. Oh, see, the PIMS is kicking in already. I can feel it. Kathy, good evening. Nice to see you too. Judy Vermeulen is in the building as well. Hey, mate. Caroline. Lynn. Okay. Yes, Rhonda Barry, I know your face goes red after a drink. We can match each other on that, and have done in the past. Cheryl, Linda. Oh, well, Linda, that's on. If you can't watch it live, come back. Actually, we've got... I'm going to say hello to a couple more. I said gonna already. I shall say hello to a couple more, and then we've got heaps to go through. Karen, hello. Jeanette, Michelle, Nancy. I just want to see... Imelda Kavanagh in the building. No way. Yes, it is your first time. And Imelda, you've missed all the shows with the pin-tuck Christmas trees. For those that don't know, you will never ever compete with Imelda when it comes to making pin-tuck Christmas trees. She has been making them for longer than I dare say for all of her friends and family, and she does me to shame. I'm sure she can do it without the pattern, with her eyes shut, and they're always gorgeous. So that is her claim to fame with me. Melissa, good evening to you. Oh, Melissa, you've just reminded me about something on EPP. Bernadette's here. Jenny. Oh, Yvonne. Okay, everyone's here. This is good. Tiki's here. Hello, Tiki. Tiki, sorry, girls, this is a Tiki and Lisa thing. We sent your package because I left you a message. You didn't get back to us, so I've sent you swatches to go with your fabrics. Hope that all makes sense to you. Deb, making a quilt today. Yes, see, Deb's one of those smart people, and I'd like to think I'm one of them as well. She's done her whole Christmas thing. Are you a bit like that? All the parties, all the get-togethers, the whole lot, seems to everyone does it early in December, and then that's it. And all of a sudden you go, oh, wait till Christmas. Don't need to do anything now. It's all done and you can just start to chill. Deb told me that, and yes, it's a very, very good idea. And that's kind of what's been happening here. Do you know the last time I wore makeup? I'm just looking at myself in the... I'm out of practice. Do you know the last time I wore makeup? Last Sunday with you, or Saturday, whenever it was. Been in the trackie. Haven't been bothering. Thank you, Rosemary. Oh, Jill had the family there with half the family today. So you got half done today, half tomorrow, or half next weekend. You're late too. Well, it's fun. You don't have to. Oh, you're so funny, all of you, for apologising. Sharon Case has put Merry Christmas to all in capital letters so that I take notice. Good move. Good evening, Val. And Deborah is here too. All right, are we good to go? Jill, Merry Christmas to you in the Blue Mountains. And, oh, thanks. Thanks, Jill. You've got a parcel leaving with your zips, and you've got an email for Steve on your button foot too. I'm all over it. I am all over it. Oh, Christine, thank you. Merry Christmas to all from everyone in Berrigan. Look, a lot more are going to come on and say hi, like Jeanette Skinner. As we go, and I will come back and check in with you. But really, 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 I want to get going because fabric. It's like, you know, this fabric behind me has pretty much all of it all come in from the States. Oh, sorry, from Japan via America, a lot of it, or the Bali boutiques, or it's all come in direct from Japan via US in the last week. And I sort of have to always remember, because I want to go, guys, it's Christmas, the summer holidays, barbecues, camping. But of course it's us, isn't it? Down here, everywhere else, Christmas, bang, one day, gone. They're back at work on the 26th. They don't do Boxing Day. They don't do Test cricket. They don't do that beautiful magic week of camping or catching up with people between Christmas and New Year. They are back at work. So this year, and that always gets me, they'll have 2 days off this year. We'll be due-dart because it's Saturday, and they'll be back at work on the Monday, whereas we don't do that, do we? No, we'll have a public holiday for Christmas Day. We'll have another one for Boxing Day. And yes, I have had to explain several times to shifting staff, previously at Robert Kaufman and then at my fabric agent, Boxing Day is not a bust-up. Shirley, thank you very much. Oh, you're most welcome, Shirl. Not a problem at all. That magic week of sorting out your sewing room, Deb, you're absolutely right, and mine does. It gets tidy, and then actually today was a wonderful day. The boys set up my big table for my Q20. So I have the privilege of having both. I've got the foldable table, the portable one, and then I've got my big hefty kind of permanent big white table with the extension leaves in it. And when we moved home from the warehouse, we very quickly put up the foldable so that I could keep working and everything. But today the boys actually did the changeover. It's no mean feat. We needed Stephen's grunt and Phil's kind of token, well, not token help, but support and emotional support to carry them all down and line all the pegs up and put it all back together. And I'm very, very happy. So there'll be lots of quilting for me. If I set this with straw on the shelf, I think the glass is too high, and I'm not risking it on the stand. Hang on, we're going to have to do this bit. Very unprofessional, but it's the show before Christmas, so we'll just take it a little bit more. Oh no, it doesn't fit on the shelf. Hang on, we're at Jin Jin. Where am I going to put the drink? Okay. It's right out there on the cutting table. Let's get started. So, boxes just kept arriving and arriving this week. What I want to do tonight, 2 little demos for you. The one I've promised for ages, just about getting started with setting up your blocks for machine applique with the Be Mindful quilt as the example. So I'm going to start one of those blocks tonight. I just pulled one at random that I have been cutting the fabric for that you will not all have yet, because it's month 6 if you're doing it. So I'm going to show you just a quick little bit on that, just to get you started. A few people were just really hesitant to kick off, which is totally understandable. So we're going to do that. And pretty much kind of for Deb Burton friends, and Deb sent me a beautiful photos this week of her and all her sewing girls together making those little folded triangle pinwheel decorations we did during our Christmas week. So Deb, remember, she did the fabric tinsel to put on the tree. I saw a couple of little things, I will confess, on Instagram this week, and I've sort of tweaked it a little bit. So we're going to have a go. I haven't done it yet. Pure straight off the bat, going to have a go at making some tinsel, fabric tinsel, which will ultimately go on our poor excuse for a Christmas tree that we've done this year. No, you're not getting a picture of that. So we will definitely do that. But the first thing I wanted to show you, good evening, Denise and Judy. Grandy's here as well. Hello, Cheryl. I said I would make for you straight away another one of our beautiful, well, I think they're gorgeous, those little Japanese sandbags. And all your kits are on the way to you if you've ordered one so far, and I said there'll be more kits. If I was a smart chook, I would have made one, but no. The old food technologist in me comes through every now and then, and I go, why make one? Save a lot of time, be super efficient. I wanted to make 3. We'll do them all in one go. It'll be much quicker. Means I still don't have one finished for tonight, doesn't it? So after I had cut 12 pieces of thick cardboard into fan shapes, and then the 9 pieces of side panels, I started to think that maybe that wasn't such a good idea. And I'm still going, but I am literally making 3 all at once. But one thing I have not been able to live without when making mine are my little wonder clips. And a lot of you asked me to get them in, and they arrived. So they are set up for you on camera too. Ta-da! So they're here. So tonight's show, oh heavens, hang on a tick. Wait, watch this. Stevie! Didn't add the banner. Can you do it? Tap. Sorry about that. Tonight's specials will be live in about 30 seconds on a banner across the top of our website, and you will be able to click on it and it will bring up everything that we are showing you in tonight's show. I don't think without exception. I think we got them all in. In the meantime, while waiting for Stevie to put the banner up, if you would like to scoot on there into the search window, if you put show 19 as one word, no spaces, capital letters, show 19, they will all come up. But what we love to do is give you just a banner so you can go, click on it. I think it's the 18th. No? I don't know. You'll work it out. So show 19, everything's in there, okay? Including our gorgeous new wonder clips. Now if something's not showing, just let us know, because that's what Steve's here for, because there's so much stuff to put up we've done over the last 2 days, kind of secret squirrel stuff. So I didn't just buy one clip like the ones I'm using. So this is them here. Now there's a bit of a toss-up. When I first bought some of these little peggy clippy things, I bought, I'm ashamed to say, super cheap ones, and within 6 months they broke or they snapped, a bit like buying cheap plastic pegs for your washing line. And I now have those fancy schmancy what am I going to say, were they aluminium or stainless steel? I don't know. I bought those ones I saw on Facebook. Anyway, oh no, Mel ran out of cardboard. Hate that when that happens. So I now only use these. I use the Clover ones and these. Then I went and bought these, and these have been going and going and going forever. So I use them for my binding, for holding bits of fabric together, for blocks. Just, I use them now probably with pins. I did a bit of a at least 25-30% of the time, I use these now instead of pins. Bag assembly. Oh, the best. When I've done my double folds over to 4 thicknesses for straps, when I'm doing walker bags, any of our bag straps, these are the best. Holding my bias, stacks of things. So this is the standard size that I have been using. But they've got funky new ones. Well, first of all, these ones are the same. But who just wouldn't love to have a pack of those? It's almost like it's colour therapy, isn't it? That's how I feel about tonight with the fabrics and everything. It's a little bit of colour therapy. And I've probably told you the story about when Biffy, that owned Lavender Cottage, then worked for me for a while. Biff and I went to America and we stopped in LA. We sat outside a beautiful florist shop which was getting ready in Hollywood for Thanksgiving. Anyway, and next door to it was a colour therapist only in Hollywood. And it was a whole business of helping you choose the colours you wear and what colours to paint your house for therapy. And we just sat there and giggled because we went, we do that every day because we patchwork. Alright, so you can get multicoloured or you can get the red ones. And then these are getting down. No, I need a pack of these. I haven't opened these yet. Let me just get these out. Oh, if they don't want to come out. No. Oh, now they're teeny weeny ones. So I'm guessing, gee, they are well secured in that pack. Let me just get that bit of tape off. Let's just, hang on. Sorry, I'm trying to do 2 things at once. I'm reading your comments. And is small and strong, opens wide, has a firm grip, clip base, easy feeding to pressure foot. Oh, okay. So, look how tiny that, can you see that? See that little narrow edge? So if you're holding pieces together, heavens, they are strong, girls. If you really don't want to use pins and you want to keep stuff flat, that's amazing. They are really, that is as good as a pin. And a lot of people have trouble with pins, you know, when your hands start playing up. I must admit, yesterday, after that hot weather and everything, I'd been sitting doing the whip stitching all of my bases, couldn't feel my hands, and they had gone. So I do like those. Anyway, those 3 are all, oh, you must have done it, it's all done. Those 3 are all up for you to have a look at. So you've got, yeah, so you've got the red ones, normal red ones, and you've got 10 of those in a pack. Alright, so maybe I have 20 around my fan, but I didn't need that many. And then these ones are really funky as well. They've got, so what have these got? 10 in a pack, multi-10 in a pack. Pretty much the same, but very cool looking. And then these super little ones, mini wonder clips. How many did you get in here? 20 in a pack of those. Alright. Best present to give someone too. In fact, if you think about it, you know how we did those clipboards this year, the Christmas ones? Just as a little present for someone, you could cut yourself some gorgeous little squares, charm squares, from your stash. You know, it doesn't have to be new fabric. Everyone doesn't care about that stuff, really, if it's a gift of fabric. And you could actually pin them together with one of those for Christmas and give it as a gift. They're gorgeous. And then they can use the clip. Okay, maybe 2 clips. Go the 2 clips. I'm just going to move these because we have other stuff. You right there, Jen? She's been running around all day. I'm very, very happy she's decided to go to sedate and sit on the floor. I'm going to go back to my fan bag making later. Good evening, Kathy. Yeah, where's your note? Where is your note? Yeah, see, you've all got ideas on how to use these. What do you do with the guys now? They'll have to sit. I'll just pop them over there. All right. Now, that opens up an area here for me to work in, which was the plan. Someone mentioned the fabric behind me. So let's go through a bit of this now. There's just, I don't know. The guy arrived at the door and I went round the back and I'll get you a trolley. Oh, this was my Christmas present to myself. This is the new Hoffman Batik sample card. You know we have a look. This is what we use to order all your beautiful batiks from. I do have an ambition to own probably 90% of these by the end of next year, and we're doing pretty well. Every time I order one to reorder one, I order 2 new ones. It's working. The system's working very nicely. So with that in mind, there's 2 new ones up here, but by popular demand, I got more of this because this went so fast last time and everyone wanted more, and I had designs on making a bag with it, so it's back. It's this beautiful Timeless Treasures metallic, almost like a splotchy ombre, look at that, background. So it is back by popular demand. Now, while I've got that there, just so happens 2 of the new batiks that I got in this week look very nice with it. This is Better Fish or Beta Fish. I'm not quite sure how I'm supposed to pronounce that. Look at those. This we have been waiting on forever, and this is what has held up our Dancing Butterfly Club that we were going to launch last year, because it is a predominant colour that we have used. See how it just picks up the bodies and the butterflies. Woo. So it's here. So Emma and I now are going to be full on getting that ready. And I had to have this. It sort of sits in the same part of the colour chart, and I had to have it. And this is called Stone Green. So they are just 2 really, really nice bright colours. As we started to build our collection of Hoffmans again, and it's a very daunting task when you haven't carried a lot of them for a while, to then start again, it's massive. So we played it safe to start with, of course. We bought all the ones that go with Under the Australian Sun and Melba, and then for our Applique sampler. But now we're getting to the point where we can expand into lots of other colourways. And I really want us to have beautiful, bright, intense colours for next year as well. I know a lot of you know that I'm planning on doing a lot of stuff with Margaret Upston next year, and it's forming something really, really magic. So if we come up with an idea, Margaret's going to go down one path with colours and stitcheries, as we would know Margaret would do, but actually, no, you don't know what Margaret's got another side to her now. It's slightly changed, and you'll get to see that for the first time. Oh, I suppose when we do Marble Craft Alive in February. So then I'll take the same patterns and I'll do them really different. So, and I've got one of Rachel Daisy's patterns here now too, that I'll go through with you after Christmas, and we're going to use that, but not the way that Rachel does. So there's, lots of fun to be had, but I want lots of these really nice rich colours. So there are 2 new babies that you'll find on the website. There were actually a lot more that came in. I just put those out because I loved them with this fabric. So I'll pop those back up there. And then speaking of dragonflies, I've got some more. I put some of my Christmas decorations out. And I was hoping, and I don't think she's here. Lisa's here from Alice though. Hi Lisa, how are you? Maggie, beautiful to see you. Oh, Yolanda, good morning. Have a fabulous day. I can tell you Sunday was pretty good here, so you're in for a bit of a treat. Ellie, good evening, and Sylvia, hello. I was hoping Annie Ruth was watching because a few years ago she did these for us. Look, this is Rob's. So, with the glitter, she painted them up. Look, so good. So I'm sort of starting to get all the Chrissy decks out, and I just couldn't help myself. I put some on the stand tonight. Okay, this is another dragonfly one that has come in. Very, very different. Almost, does it have a name? It's a Lewis and Irene. Oh heavens, I've put the... I will find the glasses, hopefully before I need them. They'll be in the bathroom. Anyway, it's Lewis and Irene, and it's kind of Art Nouveau, or stained glass window. But it's very, very pretty. And I decided that we had to have it. Look at that. It's almost iridescent, but you know I love the word ombre. Have a look at how the colours change. See that? How it's going dark to light. So that gives it an immense depth of colour. So you know what happened, don't you? Couldn't help myself. Could not help myself. Oh, I don't think we tagged this one. I'll have to get Steve to tag this one. 203, please, Steve. Gelato. Look. That's, come on, that's pretty. That just makes me smile. That's just awesome. Okay, yes, 203, please, Steve. So if you put in Gelato 203 anyway, before we get it tagged, that's, can't believe I missed those two. Heavens, that's good. You can't knock these. I don't know how we're going to get it done without a clone machine, but we've been working on this ombre club forever. I just don't know how we're going to get it done. Now, if this is not where you want to go, or you do want to go, the second option, you go here. So this then gives you ultimately what will act as a background. So this is blue, and I think it is called NB. So if you go Gelato and then put an NB, that will bring that up. But as I said, we'll get that tagged for you. Now, there are I just need to mention, let's go serious for a minute. I need to mention Steve's rules for this evening. Well, they're kind of mine, but let's blame Steve. If you order from tonight's show, we will fill your order for you by Tuesday and have it out. And we'll express post it, so you've got it before Valentine's Day. No, I'm joking. We will express post it for you, but we're not going to hold them over until our Boxing Day sale. The other thing is, if something is on sale tonight, it will stay on sale until Boxing Day or until it's sold out. Because I'm not going to take it down off sale and then put it back up. I haven't shown you anything on sale yet, so you won't. But there are a few things. So they'll stay on sale until Boxing Day or they're sold out. If I show you something new tonight that's not on sale, I won't be marking it down on Boxing Day, because that would be silly, wouldn't it, to do that, and I'd get in a lot of trouble from you. So if it's new, it's not on sale, it won't be on sale next week. Boxing Day is going to be frighteningly good. It is a real clearance. With all these guys arriving, and also we've got another 6 boxes. Good evening, Maria. We've got another 6 boxes arriving. I don't have the space here, so it's back to like we were in our little shop. I have literally gone, that shelf's got to go, that metre of fabric's got to go. So after tonight's show, we'll take everything out, ready to fill orders, and then I'm going to strip the shelves of everything for the sale and have it set up for Boxing Day morning. Kate, Merry Christmas to all from the UK. Oh, I'm so glad you're watching. Good evening, Petra. Hello. Good to see you. It is actually, Deb, it is very 70s, and I've got more that's very 70s in a minute. Okay, other things. I'm going to finish this side off for you first. Then we might make, we're going to do a couple more, and then we're going to make some fabric tinsel. Just to keep you on your toes, I went a little bit pretty. These are beautiful new fabrics in called Peacock Garden from Clothworks. The quality is beautiful. It really is. And I know, you know, when I see this, I know a lot of you have got little granddaughters, and there's pretty dresses to be had, and there's covers to make and things like that. So I bought 2. Same pattern but slightly different colours. So look at these. they're just pretty, you know, they're just really, really pretty. And then I thought, well, what shall we put with them? I didn't get carried away looking for fabrics. I actually found two things that I wanted to show you go with them. They're a little bit out of the norm. Three, actually. Three. Okay, so I laid those down there for you. The first thing I thought, oh, a little pencil case or a little makeup bag or something like that. So I went immediately out and found the matching zip. So this zip is American Beauty. So if you go through our zips, you'll see there are pale pinks, there are hot pinks, but we do have lots of beautiful pink zips that you can pop in. I don't think that's tagged either, Steve. So please go and have a look at zips. And if you think I really want a zip, or I'd like a blue zip or a green zip, you just pick one and then put in the comments, Lisa, I need a zip. You hope I picked the right colour, and you know we're going to do that for you. This is the other thing that I bought. This is called Garden Party. Look at this. This is the most beautiful Japanese little pack of embroidery threads. Aren't they gorgeous? I love them. I just love them. And this is what happens. You're going to pick up all the colours that are in these two prints. Heads up, these go with Melba, grey and pink as well. See that? So if you've got a little stitchery somewhere sitting and you need some fabric to go with it, you're right. And I've also tagged this up. So I've tagged up our beautiful cream linen. So I can just see, sometimes you just need a little bit of a kick on. Thanks, Ida. Merry Christmas to you too. You just need a little bit of a kick on, or a little inspiration pack sitting in the cupboard, and I just love these. Okay, so I've tagged all those up, and I'll get Steve to pop the zip up as well for you, or have a look through, see what you've got. Now, keeping these out for a minute. Carol Newton, if you're watching, and a couple of others, get this week's prize for checking the website each day. Because if you go to the bottom of the website homepage each day, it will show you the 3 things that were most recently added to the website. And Carol picked 2 up. And the 2 that she picked up, which are a special pre-order, the reprint of our black and red under the Australian Sunstripe. So we know we've been talking about this a bit. Emma and I have prepped everything but cut the stripe, because we get a bit nervous when we cut the samples. So you can pre-order now. You can't have this bit, as I said. Actually, it looks all right under the light, doesn't it? It's like an old friend coming back after a facelift. I don't know. Look at that. Yes, so there is a special offer. So please go and have a look. It is there. So if you just put in, if I give you a number, write this down, 0014. You think they're tagged. If you put that in, you'll find the black and red one with pre-order special, which Carol's done. She found it. And it's also there for the new pink and teal. We've got about 4 things when we've made everything else that goes with this, and now we have to cut into our precious 10 metre sample. So this is the new one. Now remember the linen that I showed you? Look at that. It actually does pick up all the colours. You've got a couple of extras in here, but the greens and the pink and the burgundy that's in these little packs goes with this as well. So anyway, there is a special on for ordering those. Don't panic about this if you don't see it on the tags tonight, or you think about it later on. This you need to order separately anyway, and it actually tells you that when you go through. You need to order this separately because of the way we've set up the special. It won't combine or it does combine with other orders, but we don't then send it out until this comes in, which is mid-January. So just have a read through, but there is a very, very good deal for pre-ordering that. Done that. Okay, should we do one more, and then let's do my fave, and then we'll have a go at making some fabric tinsel. Now this decoration, it's funny how you have them, and some of mine come from the most ridiculous place. Oh, Judy, I will send you your friendship money later. Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. I will. This one, one of my most precious ones. A lot of people have beautiful ones from Europe, and I've got those ones we bought in that shop in Bavaria or whatever it is, the glass ones, and we had to get them all the way home on the plane and all that stuff. But this one I bought in the Emporium gift shop, wait for it, in Nathan Road in Hong Kong. I don't know why, but I went in there and they had all of these sort of, I guess, fake imitation cloisonné porcelain decorations. And it is an actual real bell. And I just remember giggling because I was in Honkers, in a big Asian city, buying beautiful Christmas decorations after buying many in Europe, and it's these ones that have actually lasted the longest. A lot of those beautiful glass painted ones we brought home, they haven't stood the test of time very well. I haven't got that many left. I don't know about you, but there's not that many. They're on page 6. Thanks, Jill. Oh, so you're doing both at the same time. All right. There is many new fabrics in Oriental prints from Robert Kaufman. This is the new Imperial Collection. Do you know this is Imperial Collection 17? 17. I don't know if I remember Imperial Collection 1, but I certainly remember 2. And there's a few quilts in this house that have got 2, 3, 4. And I think, so the shop must have kicked in at about range 7 or 8. Mum's got a skirt made out of one of them. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, this is very, very different, and you know, things change, and Evie that I worked under at Robert Kaufman retired, so she's not there anymore, but I think most of their Imperial collection runs through a design studio in Japan. But anyway, this is classy. Mum said yesterday she thought this, you know, sort of goes in the garden room, in the conservatory, on the white wicker furniture, that kind of look. Just, you know, it's so subtle, and it's the softest, I want to call it a denim blue. In fact, I might later on have a look what it looks like against our denims for a bag or something. But it's really, really pretty, and this is a green grey. Now, I scouted the shelves for something to go with this, and I started to despair just a little bit, but then I found this, and it is rather gorgeous. It's one of our shimmers. I have put it on special. Oh, sorry, I've tagged it, I should say. I haven't put it on special, it's tagged. But can you see that? And what it does, it picks up this colour here in the flowers. Now, usually it bugs me to have silver with gold, but in this case it doesn't. In fact, it works really, really well, because the silver on here is very, very subtle, and in fact it enhances all of this grey and the white that's in the flowers. So that works really well together. Okay, now if you want to pull up this pink, you will get brownie points from me, and I'll tell you why. I've got a couple here that go with it. This is another shimmer, and this one does have gold through it, but look, really, really unusual combination. You wouldn't want a lot, but it is the absolute dead perfect match for these little blossoms that are in here. So I suppose if you were doing a bag with this, I'd be wicket and line it in this colour, because it'd just give you that pop. Or if you had a quilt or something that needed a little paper or a little binding or just a pop of colour, then this would be perfect. You know what I would do. I would use this for one side of my bag panel, this would be on the other side, and I would make little cherry blossoms to mimic these to go up on a branch on this side. That's just good stock standard 3D applique that I would do to put on it. So it's just lovely, lovely, lovely. All right, now we've got heaps more of those, but actually we'll put this one back up here now. Oh, that goes with that too, heavens. All right, so I'll pop that there. Right. Right. Yes, Nancy, I think if you sit them up there like that, it's such an unusual combination to put together. But I think we need to think about denim as well for a real mix-up with these. So I'll have a little bit of a play, and I'll get back to you on that unboxing day when we get together, all right, and I'll have a play. This green that's in here is a real grey green. I think I can get my hands on that in a Hoffman batik. So I don't think a shadow play, but I think I can on a batik. All right. Now, Lisa says, lovely for a flange. Yes, it would be lovely for a flange. Good evening, sweetie. Jenny Miller, how are you? Are you good? All right, now. No overhead camera tonight, folks. It went out on protest because Rob's not here. So, where's mine? Oh, it's not even in here. Oh, that's really funny. Few people ask me about my magnetic pin cushions. Pin bowls, pin cushions. That Em and I use a lot. They're really, really good if you've got heaps of pins and you don't want to have them all sticking out of it. Some people don't like a pin cushion. Some people prefer these. These are great because if you get pins on your table, you just do this and it picks them all up and it picks them up off the floor. I use these a lot, as you would have seen me use them, but they're also really good for your safety pins for your for quilting, for machine quilting and things. So they're now up on the website as well. They're sturdy and they're heavy and they are magnetic, so I can actually pick mine up with the pins on it and stick it onto my metal shelving I've got in here, or onto anything metal. Actually, good hubby present for screws and nuts and bolts that can just be stuck on long span shelving in the shed or something. One for you, one for him. There you go. How's that? Right, now, right, what my concept was, you're going to have to excuse it, and I'll have a pink fit again. I've got the old, the well-loved ironing board that I keep promising to make a new cover for, and then I get more stuff out with flies affix and things, and I just think, no. Mel says, they also pick up scissors, snippet, stitch, unpack. Yeah, Mel, they pick up everything. You do have to be a bit careful. Oh, Ruthie's here from WA. Ruth, we're really sorry we're doing Boxing Day morning, mate. We did think of you, and because of you, we actually put it back an hour later than we were going to. Oh, Cindy's here as well, from rural New South Wales. Cindy, you're halfway between, what is it? Orange and Dubbo, or somewhere in there. Somewhere in there, in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so I grabbed these strips really quickly. Obviously, I was cutting things for kits. I think it was cutting a Matilda's medallion for someone. And there was a few bits and bobs left over. So, and then I just grabbed a bit of steamer seam. I want to make two-sided strips, okay? So maybe if we put those together. You do realise that we don't do a house full of Under the Australian Sun for Christmas anymore, because I think my family would walk out the door. We see it all year for work, okay? So, you know. Ruth, you're most welcome. Right, we'll quickly stick these down. Yeah, no overhead camera tonight. We put it on and it went beep, 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 and it wanted its battery changed, and Rob's not here tonight to tell us how to do that. So we went for the best option and we removed it from the ceiling and set it on a shelf and forgot about it. That to us was the best thing to do, and moved on. Boxing Day, just while I'm doing this, not for the faint-hearted. What little things am I going to tell you? Bit of research for you to do between now and Boxing Day. Check your shadow play stash. That's just a little tip. Just check your stash. What else am I going to say? Check your Jill Chisholm, I'm talking to you. Deb, I'm talking to you. Ruthie, Josie, everyone. Christine, check your stash of banana feet. You will want to be quick. You need to know what you've got. I want to do a bit of research about what you might want to add. Keeping in mind, I am ducking and weaving Mr. Banana. And come New Year, remember, I've got to go on hold. So there will be stuff on sale on Boxing Day. Right, and stick those on here. But just do things, I suppose it's like I used to say before we had a warehouse sale, which is, this is kind of it, but online. Oh, Catherine, if you don't have any shadow play, I will see you Boxing Day. If that's the case. Do your research. Have a look at what quilts you're making. See what I've done there? I've stuck these two together, okay, with the Vlizer fix. With the steamer seam in the middle. Go and look at your quilts that you're making. Even if it's 6-12 months out, think about what backing you might need, because there might be something that comes up that you can grab for backing. Just stuff like that. Sashing, binding, kids' quilts. All of that will be on the table, but I'm being very ruthless on Boxing Day. Alright, so we've got these two bits done. I'll just put this here. 2 ticks, girls. Hey Stevie, can you grab me a glass of water? Are you watching up there? I'm talking about you and asking you to do things. Heavens. Okay, so these are done. I'm going to move my iron out of the way. Here's what my trick is. Now, we use these. Can you see that? We use these when we are making up sample cards of our fabrics as the textile pantry to send out to shops here and in America and Europe, UK. So these are a crinkle blade. So this is the equivalent of your pinking shears, but in a rotary cutter blade. Not for the faint-hearted. Oh, Stevie. Thanks. These two. What? They can't see you because I've got... I want that one. They can't see you. I'm on camera too. See these two? Can you take those? Mm-hmm. They're not tagged. Can you just take those off there?
It's NB.
Oh yeah, sorry. It's I told the girls. So they're NB and 203, please.
Easy.
There was something else as well.
Betterfish.
No. Betterfish should be tagged.
Was not.
Was not.
Was not. Thank you, bye.
Is now. Oh, can you check that the pink and teal UTAS border stripe is, please?
Sure can.
You know what I'm going to say. Never walk away halfway through reloading your rotary cutter. because you forget how to do it. All right, it's in. Now, I've put these on the website. Don't die when you see the price. They're not cheap, but you're not going to use them that much either, but you have to look after them. I think they're $12 a blade. $12 a blade. But if you look after them, you will have them for ages. And just don't get carried away and go through paper or anything with them. The other thing you have to be really careful of, and that's probably why these the Kai rotary cutters are really, really good, that automatically retract. If you drop it on a floor, which we invariably did at the warehouse on the concrete floor, very, very easy to damage the edges of the blades, so you have to be super careful with them. Did I go, because I was trying to do it slowly to show you, but that is my, can you see that? That is my pinking shear edge. So we've all got a pair of pinking shears, I know, but I just thought it would be so cool if you want to do a lot. There you go. So now I've got my strip and both my edges are crinkled. Good fun. Just go really, really slow. Not like we tend to go. Just go slow. But for those that do have trouble with their hands, I have not come across a pair of pinking shears that work well for me, and it's probably because I'm left-handed. Just cutting a few of these. There you go. So I've got my cute little squares with their little wrinkly edges. So, and then they're two-sided. So they're good to go. Now, what I might do with this one, children, can you hear the bell? That is not Santa's sleigh going back at lightning speed. That's Steve and Jimmy. There's a lot of shenanigans that goes on here during the day. Might as well be working for Google. That, look, we can't waste it, can you? That was the bit off the end. Should we just go like this? Just take a little bit. Alright, I'll cut a couple of these because I want bigger ones as well. So what we're just going to do is sew these together. The plan is to sew these together on the diagonal or on point, and just have a little bit of thread in between them so they can twist and turn. So the ones that I saw on the ones that I saw being done on Instagram, I seem to have ended up following a lot of stores in Spain, Costa Rica. It's probably Di's fault. I don't know. You know how it watches what you like, and then it suggests other things to you based on what you like. So I think I like Di's shopper now. It just it just follows. But it definitely wasn't an Australian store, but she was overlapping them, and that's all fine and well, but you're not going to get the movement. So I'll just chop this all the way down. All right, let's head over half a metre to the sewing machine. There we go. And I've loaded it up. I haven't tested or anything tonight. I've loaded it up. Deb Rumble, good evening to you. Oh, thanks for the emoji. Angela's here. And your machine's not here yet. I did check, but they're hoping for it to be unpacked on Tuesday, mate. So fingers crossed. I've left a message for Errol. I've got Corinne's. So there's some girls that are getting new sewing machines the week before Christmas. Ruthie's here. Auntie Ruth, I'm talking about you and your Christmas decorations. I've got more here. All right. Now, shall we give this a go? Oh heavens. Let's hope this works. Okay. So I'm just going to sew straight across. Probably a big stitch, yeah? We'll go slow because I have not put my metallic thread on a vertical spool like I tell you to. Alright, so I want to get to here, and then I want to put, what have we got? One of these in. So if I just sit it just there, so it's just not, they're not just going to overlap. Did I get away with it? I did. Okay. It was a little bit firm cutting through the fabric with the crinkle, and that is because I've actually got 2 layers together, and we've also got the steamer seam in between. Now, this idea that I'm doing, of course, now you start thinking about what else have I got that I could do this with. You could do it with paper. Honestly, if you had little bits of leftover wrapping paper or some precious bits, or little bits of lace that you can stiffen up with starch and put together. Anything. We'll do a couple more and we'll see how it's looking. You could get really fancy schmancy, couldn't you? You just use plain colours and get out the bejeweller. If you had little buttons left over, Suffolk puffs that you haven't used for something else. Elizabeth Murray, hello to you. Yeah, fingers crossed, Ange. Okay. If you are in Victoria and you are heading out and about and you are going through Bright, you have to promise me you will visit my mate Angela at So Bright Quilting. You know you do, you know you have to. She's got a gorgeous shop. And very soon to have a new banana. Okay. Sorry, Angela, I hope it wasn't a secret. I hope it wasn't a secret. Okay, look, you know what? I've got one to go here. Let's just do this one. Now, I would imagine at this point you have to decide if your machine will let you sew more, you could. If Kate Mara was watching and she would say if you've got a cover stitch machine, you could probably do it with that too. Oh, look, it worked, it worked, it worked. Okay. Okay, this is going to work. Now, it's the Sunday before Christmas, okay? I'm not going to suggest that we make a heap of this before next weekend, but I am going to suggest we shelve this idea and come back to it next year, do you think? See, but it's going to move, it's going to hang, and maybe what we do is we have a tinsel box, and through the year, as you've got leftover squares of fabric in different colours, particularly those that are Christmas colours or gold, silvers, anything that you think is going to work, it's going to go in that box. And then another box is going to have all your leftover bits of steamer seam that you've got left over from doing appliques and things during the year. And you're going to put them in the box as well. And then you can come back, because I just cut strips tonight, but even if you had tiny little pieces left over, they're all going to work. Maybe, yeah, I have not got time to do a heap of that before next week, but what a gorgeous present. And it would be a really easy present to send someone, because you can fold it up flat and post it. Like, I haven't got much there, but even if you had 3 meters and you just keep stacking it up, it's going to fold down and condense really well. And you're not wasting anything. If you had rick-rack bits and stuff, and you could mix it up, so you could pinking shear some, and then if you like the idea of the blade, grab a blade and have one of those. Okay, I'm happy now. We can go now. Shall we go? No, we got more to do. But anyway, I hope that comes in handy. The metallic thread does look good, but of course if you've just got anything that's Christmassy red or anything, you could use that. If you've got one of those feet we've used in the last few weeks, the couching feet or the groove feet, you could be couching on a thin piece of braid at the same time and using that, and that was just going to add a little bit. See what I'm doing this? I'm not going straight anymore. You could add a curve in over the top of the square. It doesn't have to be straight either. I imagine it would still work. Good fun. All right. Fabrics, let's go back. So over on this side, we had, now this one is not new. This one we've had for a little while, but you'll find he's on special. So that's the gorgeous Niwa, and there's a couple more of those down here as well that's on special. I'll show you those first. Oh, okay. So that's the big floral. And these are important because they go with other ones that I've got here. That's on special. So that's that apricot-y, peachy, pink colour again that we've seen in the other one. I'm just going to, that blade, hang on, he has not, oh, I've got him on lock, that's better. I just want to protect that blade. We are making retro cutter cases in the new year. Funny that, might have to get one for mine. And that's it in the pale blue. So I'm going to leave these on the table because they've got new friends that have arrived. Angela, I was watching your show the other day. It would. So Diane, did you see what Diane just wrote? It's it would look gorgeous in a little person's room. So maybe it's like mini bunting. And you could do all different shapes. Diamond shapes, don't have to be square. You could do really nice diamonds as well. Yeah, baubles, everything, Sally. It's all good. And I'm totally with you, Jill. I used to start doing my Christmas cards in January. When we used to all send each other beautiful Christmas cards, I used to sit with a cutting board and a scalpel and cut all the pretty birds and motifs off the front of my Christmas cards and turn them into my tags for my presents for the following year. But we don't get the cards anymore, do we? Or we don't send them either. Okay. This is part of that Imperial collection. Have a look at that beautiful colour. It's intense. I always want to call it indigo blue, steely indigo blue. And I absolutely love it. Not just as a coordinate, I love it as a feature print. To me, that with denim is a bag, and I wouldn't need any more than that. It's got so much interest in it, and you can see I'm looking at it kind of like a designer at the same time, because it's very, very clever. I just want to show you what they've done. I haven't done this myself with a fabric yet, but for me, usually if I did this, all of the outline would be in gold. That cat is like 6 reindeer with its bell. But what they've actually done, you right?
Bazza from the UK is watching.
Who is?
Bazza.
Baz is on? Cuz Baz is on? Okay, thanks. What they've done is the cherry blossoms have got the gold metallic for their outline, and the larger peonies have got the pale blue. So it just creates so much unique detail and interest to it. And you can see why I wanted to keep this one down, because they go really nicely together. So there's that one. Then there's this one. Look at that. So this is a new cherry blossom, and again they've done the same thing here. You've got little flowers in the background that have got white for their outline, and then the larger blossoms over the top have got the gold. So when I pop these two together, you can see they are from the same family, and they look really nice. And I love them together. We also got back in Robert Kaufman in Peacock in the fusions. We moved away from fusions just for a little while, mainly because I couldn't, what was I trying to say? Because I had so much of my own fabric going on, and it was actually hard to get hold of them for a while. Sometimes you just let things slip. You know, we went full on with shadow plays and into the ombres, and some things you just let slide. Well, I'm not now. I'm coming back and putting them back in, and I'm really glad I got Peacock in because it goes beautifully with these. So you've got, hey Steve, oh, he's gone again. Yep. Can you please tag Peacock 5573? Handsome. See those together? Can you please tag 5573 Peacock? This thing.
5573.
Fusions. 5573. Robert Hoffman.
I thought it was.
Is it tagged? I didn't. I did not. Now, they're all new bolts in there. As Ange would know, if you bring them in from the States, they're big bolts. Stephen had this great idea because he's trying to reduce our hard copy pattern stock because a lot of you are being smart chalkies and digitally downloading patterns as well. And I must admit, I want to do new photos and everything this year. So because it is in blue, if you buy 2 meters of any of these 3 new fabrics, I'm going to give you one of these for free. Okay, there's a couple more of those offers tonight. So you get a free pattern if you buy 2 meters of the Peacock, this gorgeous Robert Kaufman that's up. So this Imperial in the blue. Just because I just want this. I want these for that pattern. So it's my origami table runner pattern. And that one. And they all go beautifully with that Niwa that's on special. I see, look at this. Nice. Shall we put this one on next? I want to wear this, actually. That's about to come up in conversation. So I'll put these down here. And this one. I'm now fixed on this tinsel thing. I'm now thinking, oh, we could actually do triangles and overlap them and get a star and then run the, run away with that now. It's stuck in my head. We're going. Okay, will we go before my Auntie Ruth leaves me? Ruthie, I've pulled out the decorations that you made. Right, so I just want to show you these. Auntie Ruth, like my mum, totally into folk art painting way back. Actually, I'm trying to get mum back into it. And Auntie Ruth did this one for Phil when he was born. That was his first Christmas. Look at that. So that one comes out. And then this is Steve's glitter one. Look, see? He's 20 next year. He's 20 very, very soon. So if you've read the newsletter, you would know that next year's our 20th anniversary or birthday for Chandler's Cottage. Any excuse for a party and a quilt, any excuse. Oh, there are fine line permanent fabric pens back in stock. It's a different brand to last time, but they're back and they're tagged. These have many uses. If you just want to write your little label for the back of your quilt, but if you're doing fine applique as well, they're really nice if you just need to do a little dot for an eye on a bird or something like that. So they're the really good uni fine line ones. So they're back in. Well, we've got new ones in. I just want to get the top here. I texted Emma before the show and I said, did you make this? And she went, no. And there were 3 places I could have got it from. It was Emma, the Canberra Craft Show. Remember they had those amazing gift shops at the craft and quilt shows. But I have decided that no, this one also came from Stanley Market in Hong Kong. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh, actually no, Linda Carey might have made it. I don't know. It is so professionally made. I'm going to have to keep thinking about it. I can't work out where I got it from. Right, so the same fabric as the blue, but this time in the most beautiful soft pink red. I'll lay that down so you can see it. So this is this one. Have a look at this. See, the colours are, it's very Quiltgate. I'm going to just put that right out there. This is what Quiltgate would do. They do these colours and then you would not expect it. They pop in the pale mauve and it just works. Just really, really pretty. Wait, I got to go back. Kate, what, when? Hang on, we're talking Auntie Betty's. Let's go back. Kate said, oh, Betty's window here. Oh, because Kate, it was you, wasn't it, that recognised I had my Auntie Betty's cake tin up on the shelf. And my very good friend Carol runs Auntie Betty's floor. Auntie Betty's in Harrogate is full of strings of sewn stars. So glad you have shown us how to... Oh, okay, so I need to get Carol to send me a photo of the Auntie Betty's window in York, because they've probably got the same one up. I will get a photo from Carol and I will make sure I share it with you all so you know what's going on. That also goes with... Look at this. They're just all... they're stunning. Now, this is a deeper cream. What did I want to put with that red to show you? Oh, wait, no, it's down here. Okay. This is Quilter's linen. I've got a big new whopping bolt. Now, if you have a look at the selvage on this with me, right, we need the bit with the colours. Down in here, look at that. There are only 3 colours, including the metallic in this bolt. There is a pale pink red and a dark true red, and that's all they've used to create this weave effect. But because they've got that lighter pinky red and the dark together, it works beautifully with this print. And if you were to get up close and personal with this fabric, they have put in the finest of shaded lines. I don't think the camera will pick it up, but shaded lines, so when you stand back and look at it, it looks like a woven linen. So these two work really well together, really well together. So they are up, and I did tag those. I tagged that red linen as well, so you knew that it would work. Now, the other one, which was sitting behind it, is this. This is darker, so you should be able to see that weave effect now that they have done. So this one, slightly darker. Look at the irises. They are very, very delicate and very pretty. Kaufman quite a long time ago, and I'm going back to, I think, when we first moved into the warehouse, did a range called Katsumi, and it was a whole range of different little oriental prints. This is reminiscent of that. So if you've got a stash, go back and have a look through. You would have pieces that would go with this. So this works really well with that. It will also work really well with, I haven't tagged it, but Melba Bright Red Fans, our Nouveau fan pattern, same reds. And I've got a bolt up there I'm going to show you that goes with this as well, that's on special. So I'll come back to that. But this little iris pattern, I think this is important to have in your stash if you've got a heap of big feature oriental prints, because I've just managed to warm up my water because it was sitting next to the iron. I go, why is it hot? When we used to do the Summer Palace quilt, 21 fat quarters, we learned over time to get it to really work, you have to have big feature quilts with the big 60 centimetre 24-inch repeats. Then you'd come down and you do medium ones, and this would sort of sit the medium small. You wouldn't go too small. We'd do this as a medium, and then we'd look for a geometric pattern, and at that stage there used to be a plethora of ones that you could get. So I suppose for me, if I was mixing up this to put in a big quilt with something like this, Probably actually my Melba fans would be my geometric smaller tonal pattern. You need a balance. So if you've got a lot of those big prints, this sort of thing when it comes along is great to grab if you're going to piece something together and get a really nice balance of scale with what you're doing. That sounded all very serious, didn't it? It was in design mode, sorry. I'll lighten up. Okay. My hands are actually physically getting sore because these bolts are so heavy. Alright. Oh, lost and found department. Deb, I never got round to ringing Josie. Josie, if you're watching, does this belong? Who does this belong to? So this beautiful little decoration, I returned hundreds of decorations, and someone put this in with their other ones, and it wasn't labelled, and therefore. Josie, is this yours? Or can someone tell me who this belongs to, please? And I need to send it back to its owner. And I am so embarrassed that one just ended up back on our dining table without a label on it. Now, I could make myself sit and go through. I'm now looking to see, that's mine. Oh, Jackie, you did make it to Hobart. Oh, that's awesome. Hello, Tara. I could sit and make myself go through 5 days of Christmas shows, watching myself to see who it belongs to. Or I could fess up. I haven't sent this one back, so I went for option B because please don't make me. Please don't make me. It's just so cute. It's just so cute. It's a foundation piece Christmas stocking. It needs to go home. Will we hang it up there for a minute? Just pop it up there. Alright. Need to move this one down because I need to get these out. Love a bit of coral. Look at the coral. Look, 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 look. So this is pretty much, it goes with this same family. So this beautiful Northcote over here that we spoke about. Do you know what this is called? This is flamingo. So it goes with this as well. But I didn't put them together with this. And that's just me. Obviously Robert Kaufman wanted them together. I couldn't do it as easily because this is a beautiful, you can't even see what I'm looking at, this one, botanical print. It's botanical, whereas this is really stylized. And so I prefer this with the Northcote, but this, remember these, perfect, absolutely perfect. So how fun is that? So these are stylized, this is stylized. I love them together. Love them. So yeah, I know there's a half-made tea cozy. I know they never finished. It's on the pile. I'm feeling very confident about that over summer. It's good, isn't it? They look lovely together. So I'll pop those back up. Now underneath here, did I put it in there? Ah, I did. This is the same print again, and this is the black. Now when I say black, it's not full black. It's like a, oh, it's a green black. It's again, it's got this beautiful little woven pattern through it. And see they're different colours. So these are the same as the cream one, but here now you've got blue. So if I now pull up that Niwa one again, that's on special, look, see that? It's going to pull the blue up. So if you were doing the bag in this is your wow lining. That's just a really nice little match up that we were able to do. They're really clever, aren't they, with the colouring on them? And that's why I reckon these have come out of the design studio in Japan. Absolutely fine, Catherine. I'm sure I'm going to get an update when we're finished. Definitely. Yes, Lynette, the black, look, the black is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. But when you see it, I can't, I just need to get it up close. Ah, there you go. See that? See, it's got that little woven pattern. So it's actually, it is a black green. I can't describe it as anything else, but it is black and the little woven bits through it. Let's look at the selvage. Ah, there you go. Okay. Up close and personal, if I can get the, there you go. This is black, that's green, and they are the ground colours, those first two screens. That's green, and the green is sitting underneath the black in the weave. So there you go, it is. Huh. Oh, look at this down here further. See that? See that beautiful grey green? And then the mint green, and those two colours there are what are making up the leaves. It's good. It's very clever colouring. Unlike some of us that are useless with a pitch sheet. What did I do this week? Oh, I sent off a new colour for the Melba fans in a periwinkle. Now, if you decide, because I know what Mum would say, she'd say, I would wear that as a jacket, and she's absolutely right. Beautiful evening jacket. Think Miss Fisher's Mysteries kind of look. So if you buy 2 meters of the black, or if you buy 2 meters of the cream, I'm popping in for you one of our patterns for the Melba evening robe. Now you need you need 1.6 meters for the main robe fabric, and you need 60 centimeters for the cuff around the base. But that was all based on us fussy cutting from Melba, so you could very easily make yourself a lovely short jacket, probably down to about here, with 2 meters if you wanted to. But that pattern's coming in if you buy 2 meters of one fabric. Oh, I popped these up. I popped that up as well. That's the Quilter's linen in the black, and that would work really, really well with the black one, right? Because it's got that same weave going on. Pop that there, pop that there, pop that up there. Where else am I going? All right, and then just to finish off this lovely little story, this is the all essential cream and gold. So that's that little stylized pattern that I've shown you in the blue, and then in the coral. That's it in the cream and gold. This a little bit like that metallic Quilter's linen is an absolute staple to me to have in the cupboard. All right, yes, I know I have a shop and it's all here. Yes, I know. But in my stash with my Orientals, that is something a little bit like Quilter's linen that I have to have, because I know this is going to go with 90% of everything else in my Oriental stash. And look at those two together on their own. You don't need any more than that, do you? Isn't that so cool? But this is just beautiful, and you could put it with anything. I'm going to leave that there. So back to these beautiful peony cherry blossoms. Look at it in the black. This time, the smaller ones have got gold. The large peonies have got the softest of white grey around them. So that is also just beautiful, and it's going to go with everything. And then for those girls like me that love green, look at that. This is really unusual, and the camera's really not doing this one justice. It's pulling up this outline is quite white, but it's not. You have to trust me on this. It is a pale green. But that's going to pull up everything as well. You can never have too many greens. Or if you're my mother or Auntie Ruth, you can never have too many towels. You're the same, ain't you? Oh, Mum's going to kill me. She'll see this later. Oh, look at those. Look at that. Can you see those together? I might leave those there. I'm in my safe place, aren't I? You can tell, can't you? I'm in my happy place. When I'm playing with these babies, that one over there, I'm just in my happy place. Okay, we've done the wall. Oh no, right, back to Auntie Ruth's Christmas decorations. There's mine. Actually, that's a really pathetic bit of curling ribbon on there. I need to put some gold on. Sparkles. Sparkles, sparkles. I was going to hang these up top tonight, but it didn't work. Oh yes. Alright, now, this is the irises again, so I'll just quickly run through these last three, and then we'll make stuff. Oh, it would help if I push a button. Here are the irises. Look at this dark plum purple. Very, very nice. I can think of a few things I would put that with that's sitting in my stash. And this is it in the green. Now, what we were just talking about with stashes and coordinates to lift them, I reckon I can guarantee that if you've got a stash of Orientals to make a big quilt, you won't have enough green. And you won't have a dark green. They are rare things to find, and that's also because it's a, you know, fabric companies take a big risk when they manufacture fabric, as you well know from listening to me whinging. We're doing 2,000 metres at a time. And about 600 metres of one colour. That's 60 bolts. It's a lot of fabric. So it's a big risk to go, okay, we're doing the green. Actually, that green's the best one out of all of them for you to see on the camera with the shading. So now you can really see how sophisticated that ground shading is in the background. I really, really respect the colours. I have to say respect the colouring on this. This beautiful dark olivey green, and they've gone all out and put in mint greens over the top for the iris, and it works just beautiful. Now, here's a funny story. I ordered about 2 months ago a truckload of this, and it is going to be the background on the Forever Never Madame Butterfly quilt. So I have committed. I invested in a lot of this particular fabric for the background. It was a bit sad because I'd already invested in another one and changed my mind. So no, it's okay. So I had it, and we had the shipment of Northcote shimmers come in with some other things from our supply the other day, and it had another big shipment of creme brulee shimmer. Now this also has been a very popular fabric to choose for the background on the Chandler's Cottage Applique sampler as well, and there are people that are doing Be Mindful on it. It is a beautiful universal colour. So I said to them, I could send it all back, or I could offer it on special. So this is going on special, and heavens, I hope I actually put it on special. Let me just check. Steve-o, can you check the creme brulees on special? Yeah. Thank you. It's a long house. Sorry, he's at the other end. Hang on, we said something else. What's that? What'd you say? Oh, okay, he's listening. He's listening on a 7-second delay. We have marked this down from 26 to 18 a metre. Now, if you are going to do the Block of the Month with the geisha next year, the way that I've done it, the background will be included. So you can't stash it now for that, but you might like to stash some for a backing for a quilt or for anything else. It is a beautiful, rich cream with that fine, fine metallic gold through it. And did you see this? Did you actually see? It goes with these. So if I pop that down there. Of course, if you're doing the applique sampler, look at that, look! My goodness, it's exact match. And that is quite amazing because they're different fabric companies. You could stash this for the back of your quilt. Look. Hi.
Hi. Cream brulees.
Cream brulee.
The North Shimmer?
Yep.
Okay.
18. Please. You know how we got all of that stock?
No. You got eggshell?
No, I didn't. No, the other day we got 5 bolts of this again.
That's eggshell.
No, it's not. It's Northcote Shimmer. Radiance. Colour 13. Cream brulee. It's got metallic on it.
It looks like
No. You can come closer if you like, Steve.
Alright. No.
Do you want me to hand you the bolt so you believe me?
No, I've got it here. But we've only got 7 meters.
Oh, can you up? Okay. My bad. Can you just change that to 50?
Meters.
Yes, please. Remember how we had all that stock arrived and I already had it? But the other's not on the website because it's for the Girls Block of the Month next year. Nancy Cook, you will see it come through on the newsletter, but it is going to run as a block of the month and all of the instructions and your tuition is going to run through a Quilter's Life. You're going to be able to buy a kit up front for it. That's the way it's going to work. Nancy, but I'll make sure you know all about it. Now, I'm going to put this back. So that will go with this cream brulee as well. And where's the other one? The red one, this one. This goes, I have to remember I haven't got an overhead camera. There you go. That goes as well. See, that picks up the darkest, got the speckle of gold. Beautiful with it. So we're kind of trying to do our favourite distributor bit of a favour, otherwise he's going to have to pay to freight it back. So it's a win-win for everyone. I want to leave out, I'm going to put this one back, I want to leave out this deep green because I had an idea for you, just a little one, just a little idea. I'll pop these here. Okay, back to this. Really unusual, but if you love green, yeah? You gotta have it. Now, I just want to lay this over the top because this darker cream is the darker parts of the petals. There is also white in here or a cream as well. So I just want to lay that over the top for that linen for you to have a look at for a minute so that I can show you this drop dead gorgeous Sashiko thread. So this is kind of my little creative challenge, I suppose the second one or the third one tonight to you, is that because these are stylized, there is no harm or shame in you actually coming through, get a techie person in your life to scan this, take a photo, whatever it takes, and enlarge it, and actually get these lines going so that you've got a flower head that's about this big. So they're very simply designed little irises. Now what else could you use? If you've got my Oriental Baltimore pattern, there are irises in that as well. If you have Manning Tree Garden, there are irises in there as well. So you could use other ones. But this thread is just beautiful. And it is these unusual, beautiful greens. So you could have yourself beautiful cushions or a bag or a quilt. I mean, you could stitch through this with those two together. Obviously not with your irises going sideways. But that is pretty special. Even if you made a bag, I have marked these down, the sashiko down, and I've tagged them. This is going to make your drop dead gorgeous tassel that's going to match your bag or your purse. So, leaving on. So I'm just trying to help you put the bits together, because I know it's really hard if you are in a remote area or you can't get to the shops, or you don't want to go to the shops in the silly season and with COVID, all of that. I like being able to put things together for you, and I don't always, as you know, have the time to make them all up for you. Much I would really like to make this. It's just, I don't know what it is. It's just, I don't know, it's yummy. I'm going to sit that there. They don't go together, but that's okay. All right. Look, there's so much. Shall we do a couple more? Just a couple more, and then I'll take a seat and we'll have a little bit of a play. And if you want to go off and have a snooze or get the raisin toast and the hot chocolate, you can. And those that want to hang while I do the machine applique, that's fine. There are 3 more. Oh, wait, no. I'm terrible at this, aren't I? Hold the phone. Hold the phone. What enough. What enough. Never mind everyone else's fabric. Look at the creme brulee with that. That's actually really, that's a silly thing. I didn't obviously think of that. I'm quite cross with myself. One, because we are pretty much out of ivory everything at the moment, because Natasha stole it all. That's one way to look at it. For running the Baltimore in America, she needed it for sashing. So we're out of ivory flowering gum. I think there's about a metre left on the bolt out there. But, so this would be a really good alternative at the moment to go with the black and cream colourway. But also, I have submitted the pit sheets. If you know what a pit sheet is, I'll show you another time. For recolouring the flowering gum back into a deep cream, like we had with the first collection 10, 11 years ago, because I wanted a dark one again. Obvious now I think of it. Okay, a couple of other little treasures that came in. We did manage to pick this up just a little bit under the cut of a normal price. So it's, I think it's 22 or 24 a metre. I'm sorry, I don't remember right at this moment. That's not special, that's its normal price. But it's just a little bit funky, it's a little bit 1970s. It's very nice. It's actually a Lewis and Irene print. And I went, yeah, we'll have that. I actually like that. I love the styling of it. It would have to be, feels like the same designer that did those dragonflies. Give me a minute. Yeah, it is. It is. Same as the dragonflies. I reckon my mum and dad had wallpaper like that in our house in Kilsyth. Oh, no, that's a bit cruel. Mum probably had a dress in it. It probably wasn't the wallpaper. But that's quite funky. And I picked out just a shadow play to show you. And this is ARS. And that's, I'm pretty sure that's tagged up. There you go. And if you just want something to put with it, it picks up the lightest of the rusty colours that's in there. But just a dark chalky brown with it would look super duper, or a cream. Just a little bit different. You know how sometimes the teenage girls go through a phase that's not necessarily the pretty phase, but they like the funky phase. So that would make a really nice little retro funky handbag or makeup purse or something like that. Okay, then we've got, Diane said, would it work as a backing for the red, yellow UTAS? Yes, it would. Yes, I think it would, Diane. Sorry, that was a very good question. It'll work on the back of anything. Probably more So Diane's asking, if you haven't not reading the comment, she's asking if that creme brulee would work on the back of quilts with Under the Australian Sun. It'd work probably better, Di, with the Outback colours, the oranges and the creams and the chocolate browns, thinking about what's in them. It'll work with the classic. But send me a little email and I'll get back to you tomorrow. I'll lay them out in the natural light and I can check them for you. It's not a problem. Happy to do it because then we know, someone else, if you've asked the question, someone else is bound to ask it. These are a little bit of fun. These are in the beginning, so I'm nearly at the end of my... So much stuff arrived, face. This is white, okay? It is a really nice crisp colour, but lots and lots of fun. So this is kind of getting into the young, white and bright stuff, isn't it? Because it's not just all about, not all about the rich, dark, decadent stuff, I suppose. And you know what I had to do. Oh, I'm sorry, girls. I should have ironed it. Hang on. The iron's still on. Let's give it a whirl. How embarrassing. Okay. Look at this. Now, I know I tagged these. I'm sure I tagged these. If not, Steve's about to do it. 306. I'm pretty sure I did. Look! It picks up all of these. It picks this up. So that's really, really funky with it. And, you ready? Guess what else is going on special? The turtles. Now, these weren't going up until Boxing Day, but when I sort of saw this going on, I went, yeah, let's start it now. All right, so I had 2 big bolts of this. Got about 3/4 left of my second one. All right, so they're fun. This is Big Splash. So that's one set that will go together. And yep, I've got another one. So here's the red-orange one. And yeah, I found the coral ombre that goes with it. To me, lots and lots of fun. And you're right. Yo.
Can I have the turtles?
You can have the turtles.
Turtles are up.
What do you mean they're not up? Not on special.
No.
Not on the website at all. But we've sold turtles before.
Unless they went up when I was away.
No, just Google turtles or turtle. I did.
Right.
I tagged them today, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, no. Maybe.
So now we've got orange, with white, ombre in between, and I've put that on special. I tagged it today, I'm sure I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that. Okay, so these are new in. They've got a good price. This has now got a good price, and this has got a good price. So if you just, sometimes it's just someone comes to mind and you go, yeah, that's perfect. I'll use that for them. It's that kind of, yes. Just a bit. I think I might have a sit down. Heavens. That was a bit full on, wasn't it? Oh, there are 2, there's still stuff here on the floor, but what happened was I started bringing things in going, I'll leave that down there for Boxing Day. I'll leave that down there for Boxing Day. And then I went back out there and went, no, let's just start now because there's so much for Boxing Day. So there's heaps going on. There's more. No, we'll do that. No. I'm going to save that. I'll show you these though because you'll look at these and they've been tagged and you'll go, why? These 2, I just missed them before. You're going to love Boxing Day. I'm going to love Boxing Day. We need to send Rob out for the day. Because he'll just sit and go, no, I'm going to love it. I love it. I love having a sale. I miss having ones in the warehouse. But we're going to have a lot of fun. And it's early. If I get new pyjamas for Christmas, I'll wear them for the morning sale. I tagged Lavender Batik, and I tagged a lilac in Shadow Play because I thought, while we were just talking about, you know, doing sashiko or embroidery or whatever with these iris designs, that you then may want to know, if you wanted to do some applique, which ones would go. Now, these are the best that I've got. I'm not saying there isn't better ones. In fact, I'm quite sure... A caftan, Sally! That's an awesome idea. Sorry, got sidetracked. I'm quite sure I can find you a better one, and I know where it is. Steve and I were hoping to get to a supplier before Christmas, and I might give them a ring tomorrow, see if we can still get in there. I know where to find the perfect fabric for that purple, and it is an ombre that comes out of Japan. I can only get it through one supplier, so I'm going to have a go. If you love that color and you're happy to wait, grab the fabric with confidence, because I am going to get the perfect Japanese plum ombre in to go with it. If you don't want to wait, then this lavender, it's coming up quite strong on the camera, I'm noticing, but it is a really, really good match with this lilac that we've tagged for tonight's show, for the light and the dark in the irises on this. So particularly if you ran a really lovely dark green, and I would have a Shadow Play that will work. So if you wanted to know which one, just let me know. You could run a really nice dark green Shadow Play for your background, and then we can, like the fabric, put lighter greens and these two for irises over the top. So that's all possible. Otherwise, the ombre that I'm going to get to go with this, we would use more like a sashing, I suppose, or we'd use it as a background. So I will get those, we will get that sorted. And actually, I might get on the phone first thing in the morning and see if I can get us in before Christmas. I've got printed for us, you and me, a toile, a French linen toile, and I've been waiting 6 months for it to come, and it should be here in January. So I'm a bit scared. We've been waiting so long. You know how you fall in love with something? It's like ordering furniture. You wanted the 3-piece suit, and you wait 6 months and you go, gee, I really hope it's as good as I remember. So we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and see. Now, it's time to chill a bit, and let's just have... What are the name of the Robert Kaufman flowers? All right, hang on. You're asking me questions. I'm going to sit down and read them, and we're going to get this started as well. Maybe I'll just do... Nancy New, what's going on? What's going on? What is the name of the fabric that went with the Robert Kaufman flowers? There's lots of flowers, Nancy. Come back to me. Put it in an email. Put it in an email for me with a bit more detail, and I will answer your question for you. That's probably better. Shadow Play with the turtles. Well, Steve stole the turtles. There are so many, Elizabeth. I will, again, stick it in an email. The thing about the turtles, and this is something just worth noting in general for you all, that sometimes you find the perfect colour to go with another fabric, like a plain one, and it just doesn't work. And the reason is that some fabrics are what they call flat printed and some are shaded. And the turtles are flat printed, which means they are a solid colour. There's no shading in them. It's just straight red, straight apricot, straight ever. Whereas Shadow Plays have multiple tones of the one colour in them. So they don't always work. My suggestion to you would be to grab the turtles, and then next time you're near a shop that stocks solids like Robert Kaufman Kona solids or Clothworks or something like that, you take it in, and then you can choose a good solid, good solid colours that are going to go with it. And so that if you ever find the perfect, what does fat finger the celadon with metallic mean, Nance? Your predictive text is really worrying me. If you ever find a perfect colour match but doesn't look right, that's probably why. We are researching which solid collection we're going to start stocking next year at the moment, because we do need some for what we've got planned next year. So we will have some coming through. We're just waiting on some very precious sample cards to arrive so we can pick which brand we're going to go with. And when we do it, we always make sure that we've got at least 2 different companies, whether they're here in, not necessarily here in Australia, but one here and one overseas, so that we can always keep it in stock, because there's nothing worse than running out of one. So that's my old food tech hat. Always 2 supplies for every ingredient, so you never run out. Alright, I'm going to grab a seat, put you on here, and let's pull up a chair. Oh, that feels so lovely. I'm not getting old. No, not at all. So this is just a quick opportunity for us to go through. Oh, I've lost all my comments. Where'd you go? There you are. I thought you had. Yeah, email me through. That's fine. Just a quick little go through of setting up your applique blocks for whatever you're doing over summer, and it might be the Be Mindful quilt, something similar. You might be doing my Oriental Baltimore, which has also got circular designs on it. Excuse me. What did I just see? Oh, this was just to remind me. Bobbins are back in stock for bananas. We were down to the last one. Anyway, bobbins, make sure you've got enough bobbins. This is the Chewy checkout department. This is like that impulse buy at the checkout. When you've bought your fabric, have you got enough bobbins? Pins, needles for summer. I've only got 2 cases left. If you do need one, please grab it, because I'm not sure I'll be able to get any more. And you know what happens, that when we close, if there's still stuff left like bobbins and cases, Emma and I are going to be happy about that, because you can never have too many bobbins. Okay, now I've had a couple of girls, and I'm very impressed, they have not cried yet, who made their boo-boo with not doing their applique for Be Mindful on point. So just watch that. Please don't despair if you have. We have more background. We can send you another square if you need it later on. I have stashed a bolt for emergencies. Everything is fixable, and it just means you're going to have a cushion to go with your quilt. So if you were doing my Baltimore and therefore it was just going on the straight, one thing that you're going to do early on, and all of it's in the instructions, okay, don't worry about that, it's all there. You're going to fold that way, and you're going to fold that way. Carol Newton's here. Carol, we were talking about you earlier, and you got a prize for spotting the special pre-orders for my border prints. We were talking about you. So you're just going to go vertical, horizontal. Okay, folds. We'll pop that one over there. Now, with Be Mindful, you're on point. And I'm so sorry I haven't got my overhead camera tonight, but hopefully you'll be able to pick it up from here. Let's get rid of this ruler. So you're going to fold across this way, and now we're going to center the pattern over that. So when you get your patterns, do be careful with them. You know, you want to look after them. You never know when you're going to want to come back, and you might, once you've made the quilt, it's then like a reference library of lovely motifs that you can use anywhere. So you might want to come back and use an orchid in another project, or in a handbag, or on a cushion or something later on. So just carefully take your staples out, and then have a Fosdick through for the pages that you need. So I'm going to pull these 2 out. This particular month, which is month 6, has got you can have the border print and the triangles in it as well. And there's now one of those buzzy bees. Who doesn't want to have a bee on hand to pop on something? Alright, so we're going to pop these over here, and I'll grab these. If you really, really want to preserve your pattern as a whole piece, then you would photocopy these. And just be really careful when you do photocopy, or if you take them somewhere else to get them done. Same as if you buy digital patterns from us, always make sure you print them to 100%, not to fit page. So you don't want any scaling. You want it to be exactly the same as the file, because that can happen. So you can see what I was doing then. I was just holding it up to the light so I can check that I've lined up both pages really well. And then I just use a little bit of sticky tape. Kathy Douglas, have I sent your background fabric out? Don't know, Kathy. Did you order it? I can't remember off the top of my head, darling. So email me and we will double check for you. Well, Steve will check for you in the morning. So, alright, who have I got? That's all good? Right. So I'm just going to, just a couple of little bits of tape, because then if I want to undo them again and pop them back in the folder, I can. Excuse me. Frog in my throat. Okay, so when we've graphed all these up, Cass has actually marked the center for you. So she has actually done this very nice, accurate maths for you. And then what I'm going to do is just draw a line. Just want to continue that line out right through that way. And I'll do the same the other way. Just line it up with my ruler marks so that I've got the line that's been drawn on the pattern lined up with one of the lines on my ruler so that I know that it's square, and then I can go across this way. Now I know a lot of you are going, Lisa, this is the basics, but listen, there's quite a few girls that are doing this quilt for the first time, and it really is quite daunting if you haven't done anything like this before. Same when we get to the geisha, we're going to be dealing with essentially a big panel that we're going to create ourselves, and it's trying to work out how to mark it all up is a big thing. And there are some, there are tricks to it. So what I'm going to do now is I've lined up my marks on the pattern with the folds that I popped into the fabric from point to point. And that way I know I've got the pattern really nicely centered over the block. And I don't need a lot of tape now, I just need a little bit of tape at each end. Okay, like that. Then what we're going to do is grab some graphite or carbon paper. Steve and I just had a look at stock on the website before the show and was horrified to see that we're really low on our packs of this paper, if this is what you'd like to use to get onto your background. So I've quickly ordered some more, but it's got to come from the States, the one that I buy now. I'm doing this from the top because it's a dark fabric, but if you have a light box and a lighter fabric that you're working on, then you'll be able to trace it on over your light box. So in just having two little bits of sticky tape at the top and the bottom, what I can do is use the same piece of graphite and I can slide it up and down underneath. And I find this is a really nice way to do it if you're adding long borders as well, because I can have my whole long border happening and then I can just move my paper, my graphite paper underneath, up and down. So this is just one method of doing it. Judith and Yaron was asking me about this, and there's a few different ways to do it. I think Michelle notes in her pattern for this as well that she just has a hunt through her kitchen cupboard and finds a plate that's about the same diameter and she will actually draw that onto her background first, and that helps her and guides her when she's actually laying all the pieces down. And that's, you know, that's another great method as well if you've got one. Now, because my pieces of my applique are going to be cut out, she says confidently, ever so confidently, where have they gone? Hey, Stevie, I think my applique pieces are on the Q20. Dale, if you could grab them for me. Because my pieces, you know, are not going to be cut on the bias or anything, they're going to be cut actually to shape, and they're going to have a steamer seam on the back of them. They're going to be quite stable. So again, I don't need to draw all of the lines on. If I was needle turning this on, then absolutely I would want both these lines on here. But because I'm not going to, all I need to do is just draw sort of a few little bits. They're just little bits of green and purple and, oh, you're a legend, thank you. You know, just a few little markers that, oh, Lisa's done that. Have I done it? Yeah, see, you get carried away and I forgot to move the paper. All right, I'll come back to that bit. That little point up there is a good spot. I'll want this line in here. I'll want that there. And again, it is just about positioning. If you're doing the applique sampler at the moment with me, we're in a different world to this. We are actually, in many cases, having to draw onto our background for real positioning, or we're using what's drawn onto the background for the actual shape, or we might be drawing a leaf shape onto our applique fabric and just pinning it on. You know, all different applique techniques lead you to different requirements at this early stage of setting up your block. Now, on this particular block as well, down the bottom, you'll see here, we've got another little guide going on, and this is to do with these pieces that are here. So down here, there are guidelines from Michelle on how to actually overlap your pieces when it comes to creating this effect with blanket stitch. So I'm just going to turn this around. This is quite interesting. This is the piece that you actually cut out and put onto applique. But down here, there's a guide on actually how to stitch it. So even though this is one whole piece of fabric, you bring your stitch lines down and cross them over, so then it will give the illusion of there being two leaves here crossed over. Just a little bit of extra detail and a bit of fun. Okay, so I'm going to move my paper down now underneath. So I was too busy talking, and I drew over those bits without the graphite underneath. It is something I have done many times, so I'm not even embarrassed about it anymore. I'm using quite a firm push down with a biro, and you'll want something quite firm if you're going to use graphite paper to transfer. Just double checking. I think I'm happy. Again, talking, not concentrating. Just check I've got in the right spot. I've missed this curve. I'll just put a few lines in there. And that, believe it or not, is pretty much all I need. So you can just see that there. Also the graphite, the chalk off the back of the paper, or the carbon papers come through. We can always come back, you know, we can always come back and revisit that if we want to. You could also photocopy this if you wanted to, and photocopy the whole thing, and then just cut out the outer circle shape. Just cut that all the way around, and then just trace that outer outline onto your background. That's also going to give you a really good head start. you're still going to need some of this detail, but you know what, if you had this little peak in here at the top, hey Miss Ginny, and you had these out here, well then that's going to give you pretty much where that curve sits around the top, and you can join all this together down through the middle. So, you know, there are many ways to get a really quick minimal outline onto your background. And that is mine there. Okay, so that's just one way to do that. And again, if you're using a pale colored background, like Judy actually decided she didn't want to work with a dark background, she switched over to a light. Absolutely fine. So now instead of using this technique, she can easily do hers on a light box to transfer it on. So it's just a case of playing. But please just remember that even though these are drawn up on the square, and that was really the only way that we could do them in A4 size paper to get them into the patterns, you're actually going to have them on the point when you put them on. All right, now, what do I want? This and this. So when I've got graphite paper and Teflon applique mats the same colour here, so that's throwing me a bit. Okay. When you get to the next bit and you start building up your designs, or your motives, then you can actually do that onto a Teflon mat first. So you can do them in sections. So, and we did this with Em, didn't we, a few weeks ago? We did. I do remember. She did a little bit for us. So, just to give you an idea, I'm going to do part of this one here. So, a lot of people seem to think that you need to lay them one down at a time and then stitch each one, which is what you would do if you were doing them by hand. But if you are doing them by machine, you can actually do them in blocks, and you can get away with it quite nicely when it comes to stitching. I'm going to turn this around and show you this one too. The trace hole but add stitch details after here, and that's referring to this little one down the bottom. So with this, you can, and they've got a picture of it on here as well, you can bring one down over the other, so it will actually look like that so that they cross over, but we're going to add them as one bit. Okay, shall we do it? Now these are all reversed, ready for you. So I'm just going to do the top. I'm just going to do this top section for you, or you will all fall asleep on me. I know you will. Okay, so I'm going to lay my paper over the top, sorry, my steamer seam over the top. I've left it all together at the moment. I have double checked that my steamer seam adhesive is attached to this piece that's on the top, because that's the bit that I'm going to trace onto. Now, I've got one top bit, and it's got its little overlap at the bottom that's in light pink, and then the other parts down the bottom of this flower were also in the pale lilac pink. You know, the other thing I need to tell you, I do need to say this. Whoever took the photos of Michelle's quilt has messed with the colours on it, or there are two quilts, because the colours have come out pink on the pattern sheets. The actual colours in your quilt are lilac, and the quilt is lilac. So when you see the photos, please don't despair. I promise I am sending you exactly what's in Michelle's quilt. However, the photos have been seriously messed with, or there are two quilts. I'm going to go back and ask the question. But the quilt that I've got here is exactly that colour. I'm just tracing off now the little piece that sits in the middle of the throat up here in this petal, and that's in the dark purple or pink. And then there is another whole piece of course, if you don't already know, what is my incentive for making this quilt? Well, somebody who turns 20 in January, who at the age of 14 weeks old was taken out by his father for a stroll while I taught my first class at home, has asked for this quilt for his 21st. I think I'm okay with it. I didn't make Philip's 21st quilt out of my own fabric, and Steve would like a dragon quilt, Summer Palace, so that's fine. I'm cool with that. But he loves Michelle's quilt. So I've got 12 months, and I figure every now and then I'll do a little bit with you, and then it'll all be happening. So this is the start of Steve's quilt. We'll be at one teeny weeny little bit tonight. Maybe I should have done the bee. Let's do a bee next time. Alright, so I've got these little pieces drawn up, and I have made sure that the pieces are far enough apart that I can chop between them. When I go through and do my leaves, I want to talk to you about leaves as well, I would group them all together because they're all going to be on the same colour green. I might just talk to you. Let's just talk leaves just quickly. All right. All the same green on this one. In the pack, and this will be the same for a lot of the blocks, you would not think that this bit is big enough, would you? But it is. If I lay that over there, I can fit the whole circle underneath this piece. That actually means I could trace off the whole green circle, or all of the foliage, in one piece, cut it all out in one piece. I'm going to end up with a big kind of ring with little bits sticking up, and I could stick it en masse down onto my block background. I wouldn't though. For me, that'd be the quickest way to do it, but to get a really nice texture and detail and a little bit more 3D going on, for me, I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to break it up. So where say these three pieces come out down the bottom, so I've got a stem for the flower and the two leaves, instead of that all being one, I'm actually going to break it down so that the leaf comes in and finishes underneath the ring, and the stem would go all the way down to the base. That's going to give me a little bit more stitch detail, because I will do a small blanket stitch like Michelle did for this quilt, but also it means that I'm not trying to stick down the whole circle of the green in one go. I'll probably just do that down there as well. Probably have my stem come down over the top of the whole ring that goes round, and then it's just easier to break it down. I'm not going to be that nervous then about it all going down and being the perfect circle in one hit. I'm going to pop those there. We need to stick these onto some fabric. Okay, so just use your picture as a guide. I've been very generous with the amount of steamer seam on these. Okay, now of course, batiks, no right or wrong side. Woohoo! Pop that one on there. I've only got one, haven't I, in this pale colour, just for the top. I tell you what I do need, ladies. I need a new iron, and I have, you'll be very happy to know, after watching me cumbersomely using my good Sunbeam all year, I have finally ordered some small steam irons. One for me and some for the website. So that's a dark one. And then we've got a little teeny weeny bit that also goes on this one. You can group them all together on the same piece. Because I'm talking to you, I did not want to risk getting them all in the right order. But you will be able to group a lot together. If you don't want to group them together, it's perfectly fine. Just cut out a big enough, leave a big enough area around each little piece. Because I suppose, if you group them all together and you stick them all onto the wrong colour, it would be a bit tragic. If you are doing the quilt, and we've got new girls, if you want to do it, of course, in January, like I said, then just email us and we'll set you up with a membership. It'll go out end of January. But, I just remember it. If you make a mistake with a fabric or something, we are holding lots of the stock, or we're holding everything left. If I'd run out of this particular purple I've got in my hand, there's going to be another one that is so close, it's just going to add a little bit more variety to your quilt, and it's not going to matter because there's so many different fabrics in the quilt. So please don't worry. Please don't worry. Hey, Jin. Oh my goodness. Do you think it's bedtime and you want some food? I've got this little bit on the black. That's the middle. Now when you come to layer up your pieces, they are so small and it's quite, the designs are quite, for want of a better word, really, organic. They are botanical. So if it's not exactly in the same spot as the diagram, it is not going to matter. If you really want it exactly, then you would take your pieces and you would layer them up over the top of the original design on a light box and get them all working. And that's when steamer seam is just so good, because it's sticky. Okay. So that is my little top. Now let's get our where'd I put it? Here it is. We'll get our Teflon mat, just so I don't get too carried away, on the top of the ironing board. So if you haven't seen or used one of these are super, and they are Teflon, so nothing sticks. So I can pop that little part of my flower on there. Let's see this little trick that Emma used the other day. Just tear your paper a little bit on the side. Now, so as I said, I could lay this over my diagram if I wanted to, and I can stick that on there with the steamer seam, and it's going to stay together. And if I actually want to move it, I can peel it off and pop it down again. Okay, so now this is going to sit. So I'm actually, you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm actually having a look at the diagram up here. And this sits here. I really should have it. You know what? It probably fits, doesn't it? And I can probably see. Yeah, let's be sensible, Lisa. Oh, too easy. So I can see that through the Teflon really easily. You just give it a little tear, and then you can easily peel off. This little bit here is almost like a little kidney shape, and that sits over the top and just touches the base. There we go. I can see I'm a bit off with this. I'll just give that a little bit of a And this will be the fun bit where you'll go, oh yeah, Michelle did it that way, but you know what? I like it a little bit askew that way. All right, so that now, if I iron this, all of those pieces where they overlap, the steamer seam is going to stick them together, but they are not going to stick to the Teflon. Okay, so I'll just let this cool just a little bit. Actually, while that's happening, I'll get this out of the way and my mess. And that. Right. So we'll bring up our background ready. Now, do as I say, not as I do. Because I can only sit this down here. I can't sew it down yet, you know why? Or I can't stick it down yet, you know why? Because the next bit actually sits underneath. So I can't stick the whole thing down, but I do want to, doesn't it look at it on the blue? I do want to just stick the top bit because I want to go over to the sewing machine. So don't tell Steve. Hi Jen. Just want to stick that top bit down, and then we can just go around the top petal. All right. When you, you know that, as I said again, do as I say, not as I do. You will find on the website a lightweight iron-on tearaway in the Happy section. That is what I would really, really, really recommend that you put on the back of your blocks. It is, she's pretty cheap, super cheap, and or something like that. I mean, you can put whisper weft on. You can put weft on if you want. We've got that too. So a woven interfacing, then that would stay on. It's not going to come off. But you'll want something. I'm only going to do a teeny weeny little bit of this to show you. There is a wayward bit of tinsel. I will have to add that. You're going to, you know, you really, really want something that's going to give you structure. I'm only doing this teeny little weeny bit over the top, so that's fine, but I'm just going to do one little bit, and then that's all I will do, and I will go finish ironing on other pieces, and then I'll put something on the back and make sure it's done properly. Now, Michelle's pattern, this is what I want you to make sure you do read this and have a read through, and not on those pages, Lisa. Have a read through, because in each one it is highlighted what size stitch she has used. So what's a good example here? The width 1.7 and length 1.8. So we're talking small. Small. So I'm going to go into, on my Bernina, into the quilting section. I'm going to go to 1309, which is my blanket stitch. Then I'm going to reduce the width of my blanket stitch down to 1.7, and I'm going to take the stitch length down to 1.9. So I can make it exactly the same as what Michelle did on her Bernina. Now with your blanket stitch, start off nice and slow, and you might want to have a little bit of a practice on something else first. If you haven't done a lot of blanket stitch, I want you to get used to the way the machine stitches it out, because every machine is different. And I do love this one. Okay, if I lift that up and I'm going to have a look, yeah, that's really nice. I think it's okay to change the size of your blanket stitch based on the size of the piece that you're sewing down, particularly parts of this one as you get towards a really, hear that, tight point. I'm up to the tiny, tiny point now on this little bit of orchid. So I'm going to reduce the width down even more. I'm going to take it right down to 1.1 because if I have a look at that, the whole tip that I'm working on at the moment, it's probably only 3 millimeters across. Just do one stitch at a time and then take it down again, down to 0.8, so it's like minuscule. Go forward again. Okay, then I'm going to turn. Okay, now when I get down and it just starts widening out a little bit again, I will take the width back up to what Michelle said. So I'll take it back up to 1.7. Okay. We'll just do this bit and then I hopefully can get it up close enough to the camera to show you. And now I can feel this is all moving because I haven't glued it down and I need to put some stabilizer on the back. But just enough to show you. I can get that up there. Just let the camera. Is it going to adjust? It's not going to adjust. That's probably the angle I've got that one on. Come with me, guys. I'll go over to this one and we'll see how we go. Oh, I think you can just, yeah, there you go. Okay, so see that? I've got it right down teeny weeny up the top. And that's really, that's going to be worth the effort for you to take the time to do, because then you won't end up with little bits of, with little spokes from your blanket stitch, if you use blanket stitch, coming over onto this pail of fabric. Okay. So this is, for a lot of you, going to be hours and hours of fun over the next few weeks, because you've got your first, second blocks out and we're posting the next lot out a little bit early. We're going out a bit early so that they are in the mail before Christmas. But be mindful so that, because the post is going to be slow, so we're sending them out a little bit early so that you've got them to play with over New Year. As I said, if you haven't joined up for this one yet, then you can just email us and we can send you the details and we can get you organised to start with the second group in January. Wow, that was a big show. That was fun. We've been here for ages. I might go and have a little nip now and have another little drink. And Steve and I will spend tomorrow and Tuesday in the office at least. So if you've got any, that's what I was going to say, any questions at all about orders, please don't hesitate to email us tomorrow. I think a lot of you know we've had a lot of trouble with NBN and phones and everything here, and we're running through a weird and wonderful little Google phone at the moment to take your calls. So if you don't get through to us, please do leave a message. But also the best way to get me 24/7 is info@chandlerscottage.com. info@chandlerscottage.com, and I will get back to you. Now, Tuesday as well, Emma and I are here. No show, but Emma and I are here working together on Tuesday. We're working on, as I said, stacks of stuff for next year and finishing off samples and things. And I wanted to tell you that because if you have a pattern that you're a bit worried about, that you're a bit stuck on, now's the time to pull it out and drop us an email, because then we will have the opportunity on Tuesday with two heads better than one to answer any queries you've got. So if you do want to speak to us, or you can jot down in an email, I'm stuck on pin tuck patchwork bag at step 7. That is a great head start for us, and we'll be able to email you back. Maybe we can send you some photos, maybe we can get on the phone and give you a hand. But, you know, try and be specific for us so that we can nut it out. But it's a great time to get in touch with us. Or, Lisa, I'm making this quilt, here's a photo of it, what do you suggest for the backing, or have you got something that will work? All those sort of questions. It's a good time to get them in now. and then we can give you a hand so you can keep sewing right through the Christmas New Year break. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for spending the evening with me. I realise it was a whopper, but it was so lovely to catch up and see everyone here again. You have a fantastic week. A lot of people have emailed us and asked, how long are we shutting down for? We're not. We're here, so we'll be filling orders right up to Christmas Eve. And then I shall see you bright and early on Boxing Day morning for our Boxing Day sale. I may make an effort to dress for the occasion, but you of course can just stay in bed with a cuppa and watch. So I look forward to seeing you then. Have a fabulous, what's today? Have a fabulous week, all right? And fabulous Christmas. And I'll see you next weekend, all right? Bye. Thank you so much. Bye.